Honestly, I didn't even know that this was an epidemic. I spent majority of my life being the typical woman that is self-centered and everything matters only to me and what my view of things are of the world from my point of view, what I'm going through, and not caring at all about the men's side of things. So this is actually the first time of diving into this. So let's get into it.
Hey, just a quick question. Has anyone considered maybe there wouldn't be a male loneliness epidemic if more men weren't so insufferable and quite frankly annoying to be around?
Look around and you'll see it everywhere. Men going to work, coming home, scrolling, sleeping, and repeating the cycle. Not because they don't want connection, but because trying feels pointless. The male loneliness epidemic is what happens when men are quietly taught they're unwanted, untrusted, and easily replaceable. Modern dating culture tells men their value is conditional on height, income, confidence, and status, but never gives them a safe way to participate. Approach wrong and you're creepy. Speak honestly and it's used against you. Fall short of expectation and you're invisible. Over time, men learn that effort carries more risk than reward. So they opt out. Not loudly, not bitterly, but silently.
Ooh,
They stop
that is so
asking women
real.
out. They stop trying to impress. They invest in work, hobbies, and distractions. Anything that doesn't reject them. And then society looks around and wonders why men are isolated, depressed, or disengaged. The truth is simple. Men didn't disappear, they adapted. When connection becomes a liability instead of a refuge, loneliness becomes the safer choice. Let's take a look and see why the male loneliness epidemic is getting worse every year.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic. Men would rather be alone than to evolve and change, than to recognize, wait, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe there's something I need to change. If you can't get a woman because none of them want to be with you, maybe try and figure out why. Instead of making women the problem, saying that their standards are too high, maybe try and figure out why they don't want to be with you. What is it about you that maybe needs to change in order for a woman to want you? And they'll say, oh, there's no more good women left. Women are not like what they used to be. Women used to spend their days in the kitchen. Women only cared about taking care of the house and the kids. Oh yeah, and also women used to take our beatings. Women used to stay quiet. Women didn't complain. Women didn't think they could get better. Women didn't have confidence and self-worth and weren't able to speak up for themselves. And that suited you. That's the kind of person you wanted. If you love your mum's generation so much, cool, maybe marry one of her single friends. Women are not the problem. They have just woken up and realized they deserve better, that they don't actually need anything from these men, and they're only going to accept a man in their life if the man can make their life better. And if you cannot do that, you will not be chosen. If you can't level up and be the kind of man that women of this day and age want, you won't get to have a woman in this day and age. Your tricks are not working anymore. The internalized misogyny, the oppression, all of that, it's not working anymore. Women are waking up from it. Women are healing. Women are learning to love themselves and their own company. Women are learning to support and love each other and have communities and have friendships that are valuable and fulfilling. We now know that getting married and having children is a choice, that you don't have to do that, that is not what makes you successful or fulfilled in life. In fact, having kids when you haven't healed yourself and you don't know your own worth is actually the problem. It's why so many, if not all of us, have childhood traumas, have issues. What's happening right now is very normal. It's called evolution. It's happened many times before. When conditions change in the world, you either evolve to survive or you get left behind. This is evolution. Instead of complaining about it, evolve.
All while not understanding that you can't evolve if you can't procreate. Like, it's just that simple. Like, you can't, how do you expect the world to keep going if no one lays down and actually does the work of having the kids? Like, that's so insane to think about. Like, the majority of these women talking like this, just like I did, had no idea that we're actually below the what is it called, babe? We're below replacement, like, of replacing humans. That's a big deal. Like, that's end of life forever. But we're not told that. We're not even aware of that part of it. Oh, somebody's gonna handle it. Somebody's gonna, no, like, start waking up and understanding that, dude. And tell the truth that when you go home at night and you're by yourself laying in your bed, that doesn't feel good. You know that you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life. You just think that, oh, it'll happen eventually, rather than actually taking the steps to figure out why you haven't found one yet, and that you're probably the problem, and that if we don't figure out something, the men can only do so much. They're actually good because they could just, like in The Handmaid's Tale, make us have babies, but they're not. Like they're just like, okay, all right, well, can't find it. All right, I'm just gonna let y'all do your thing. Like, that's actually a very sweet approach rather than doing it the other way. But we're too busy not even seeing that that's a problem and willing to do anything about it. That's crazy. It's crazy to me.
She reframes the male loneliness epidemic as a loser problem, but that framing avoids the bigger issue. It assumes that if men are struggling, they must simply be refusing to improve. Men aren't opting out because they hate women or want to rewind the clock. They're opting out because the risk-reward balance has changed. Standards are higher, social consequences are harsher, and trust is lower. Men are expected to approach, initiate, and provide value while also being told they're potentially dangerous or unwanted. That contradiction creates paralysis. Calling this evolution doesn't mean it's healthy. Evolution isn't one side gaining leverage while the other absorbs all the risk. When large numbers of men withdraw, that's not laziness, it's feedback. A system that responds to that feedback with shame instead of self-reflection isn't progressing. It's ignoring a warning sign and calling it growth.
Somewhere out there in a podcast-lit apartment stacked with empty takeout boxes and Jordan Peterson hardcovers, a lonely Republican man is wondering why no one loves him. And I want to be kind, God help me, I do, but it's hard because this epidemic of male loneliness on the right, it's not about politics. It's not about masculinity being under attack or that feminism ruined the dance. It's because they keep trying to court women that only exist in campaign ads and TikTok thirst traps made for profit. These men are chasing an idea of womanhood that doesn't exist anywhere outside a screen or a fantasy. Some hyper-submissive, Bible-toting, Instagram-polished Stepford Barbie who votes red, never talks back, and thinks empathy is a liberal plot to weaken men. But here's a kicker. Even the women pretending to be that don't believe in it. The influencers they idolize, they're not pious homemakers, they're power chasers. They want the clicks, the contracts, the proximity to men with microphones and donor lists. They don't worship their husbands, they worship the algorithm. And half the time, they're just waiting for the prenup to ripen. These aren't trad wives, they're grift wives, playing a part for the brand deal. And the men are just marks in a pyramid scheme with an American flag draped over it.
Yeah, the male loneliness epidemic is just really getting to me. Really, you don't say. Shocker. That little charade you just did gave me zero clues as to why. Don't you get what the problem is these days? Fuck it, okay. Are you in therapy? What? No. You have a strong group of friends you can talk to about the highs and lows you have going on in your life and maybe even occasionally exchange in some sort of physical encounter? What, like a hug? Yeah, like a hug. No, it's gay as fuck. Okay, strike two. And in your phone, you have access and connection to literally the entire world. Do you do anything to reach out with like-minded people to hopefully find some sense of community? Now, why would I do that? Well, that's all I got. No, I'll tell you what the problem is with the male loneliness epidemic. Let's say it on three. 1, 2, 3. Women.
So the male loneliness epidemic is simultaneously fascinating and just sad to me. Because the men who are lonely are primarily incels, right? Like the ones that can't get women, the ones that are trying and then convincing themselves that they're not with women because they don't want to be. But it's just in reality because no woman wants to be with them. And these men inevitably stumble into our comment sections to tell us why we're the problem. And you're gonna die alone with cats, as if that wouldn't be a bonus for most of us. You know what I mean? But they are really clinging to this idea that
that's what they say until it happens to them. Like until you're actually that. Oh, then you're like, oh wait, hold on, wait a second. Like once that becomes your reality. So let's talk in like another couple of years, because yeah, that's when it starts settling in that there's no way out from there. Once you're already there, there's no way out from it. Yeah, we'll see how much they say that then.
Owed relationships with women. They are owed our time and our bodies. They feel entitled to them. And they're slowly realizing that because society is changing and the way that we look at relationships is changing, that's no longer the case. Women no longer need to marry men for our mere survival. That changed in the 70s when we can get our own credit cards. And my partner said something super profound about this the other day, because I get so many incels in my comment sections. He said to me, no man who fucks does that. No man who gets women goes to random women comment sections on the internet and just tells them about how they're a terrible piece of shit and tell them to make them a sandwich. No man who fucks does that. So now when they come to my comment sections to announce how dry their balls are, essentially, by saying things like that, it just makes me laugh. Because I know it's making them cry.
The easiest way to dismiss the male loneliness epidemic is to label lonely men as incels, who feel entitled to sex. That framing turns a social problem into a character flaw. In reality, most lonely men aren't demanding anything, they're withdrawing. Many girls like her treat sexual success as moral authority. Winners get empathy, losers get ridicule. But dating isn't a merit badge system. It's true that women no longer need men for survival. But when men are told they're disposable or irrelevant, they adapt by opting out.
You know how I know that the male loneliness epidemic is self-induced? So I just got back from a first date. We're there for like an hour and a half-ish, I guess, at a cocktail bar. And when I tell you, in this hour and a half date, I think I was asked maybe 3 questions about myself. I'm trying to ask things like, where have you traveled to? What do you like to do outside of work? What do you do for work? What's your family like? I'm cracking jokes. I'm trying to, like, you know, make this an enjoyable time for everybody, at least myself. And I'm just getting nothing back. Which, like, if this was a one-off thing, I would be willing to say, okay, it's a first date, like, sometimes people just don't click. But it's the fact that this happens more often than not for first dates that we just sit in silence, to the point that it's almost like a game. Like, if I stop driving the conversation, how long are we gonna sit here? And they always go, oh, I had such a nice time. Because I was there. I was doing all the heavy lifting. Why would I willingly spend my evening entertaining a man who was giving me nothing in return when I could be sitting on my couch doing a hobby, literally anything else? I'm not doing it. Also, it is not us, it's them.
Male loneliness epidemic. Yeah. Do you want to know the last time a man held the door open for me?
That's what we've always said. That's what we always stick with. That's what we always will. If we keep continuing like this, like at some point, and it already is happening, is that, dude, we're not going to even be able to keep existing. Like, it's so wild that we are so self-centered that we just think that there's no point to all of it. That, dude, we're going to die alone. But it doesn't hit you until it's too late. It's going to be too late one day, for real. And it's sad, honestly. Even on being a woman, it's sad on that end, seeing that. Like, dude, they think it's just such a delusion. And then, because this is a reality that I had to recognize, is that majority of men are kind. So they're simply just being like, okay, I don't want to, look, I ain't trying to, I mean, I'm gonna respect it. I'll step back. I won't try to do too much. The guy's probably nervous off his butt because there's so much pressure, especially now in the dating thing. But we don't even consider that. Like, oh, hey, like, be sweet and feminine about it. Like, oh, hey, I'm really nervous too, to calm his nerves about it. And because I know how this dating thing can go, it can be a little nerve wracking. Say something like that to ease it for him, so that then he's a little more open to, okay, this girl ain't just trying to date me right now and then go talk crap about me later on. Like, it's just sad. It really is.
Do you want to know the last time a man wanted to see me in the daylight? Do you want to know the last time a man bought me flowers? Do you want to know the last time a man picked me up for a date? I'm sorry that I'm not jumping at the opportunity to be treated like complete fucking dog shit. I'm sorry that I'm not jumping at the opportunity to receive the bare minimum from a man. At the end of the day, I can do all those things for me, and I can do it without some man bitching and whining and moaning in my ear about it. I dated a guy one time, and he told me, well, I can't buy you flowers that much because then you're just going to expect it, and it's not going to be as special. Why isn't it just like a normal thing that you regularly do? And I also had to ask for flowers. And he never held the door open for me. The last time I was involved with a man that I wanted to date, he tried to delete my nudes when I pissed him off. And then he gaslit me and called me crazy. And the whole time he was talking to a complete other girl. And also, I don't really feel like getting into a relationship.
And you know why he's talking to that other girl? Because that other girl is like, honestly, you don't really need to even do all that. I just like you for you and what you do. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, in a normal day-to-day life, it ain't about the freaking flowers. That junk doesn't even matter. Here and there, yeah, you become, what is it called? When you get something so much that you, you don't see it as a blessing. Basically, you get it so much that you don't see it as a blessing. Yeah, that's very accurate. He wasn't wrong. That is the truth. And I think that what she is getting is from other women saying that that's how it needs to be or else. And they're lying to you, honey, because are they in a marriage? Are they actually working it out in a relationship truly with somebody? Because the reality is, in order to keep a marriage going, it don't have anything to do with flowers, honey, at all. That's crazy.
And then immediately being pressured by society to get married, have children, start a family, because apparently that's all that women are good for in this day and age. And I've done the math. My life is just a whole lot better and easier without a man in my life dating me, because at the end of the day, I don't need to depend on them for happiness, and I'm way better off on my own. And until a man wants to treat me right, then I'm fine being single. So maybe do better.
I want to talk about the male loneliness epidemic, the very idea of it, because I understand one principle. You were never meant to be this alone. I understand that. I truly do. But the world did teach you to mistake starvation for strength. And now that you're collapsing, it's hiding the real crime beneath this phrase. It's not a weather event. It is not an epidemic. This is a 400-year design flaw. I'm about to show you we were wrong. Men weren't starved of love, right? They were robbed of love. They were robbed of themselves. I'm going to tell you what happens to every man. Somebody takes your ability to feel and calls it becoming a man. Somebody takes your need for closeness and renames it weakness. Somebody takes your hunger for connection and replaces it with earning. And then they tell you that a woman is the only place you're allowed to put it all. And then they tell women that they're selfish for not wanting to carry the weight of an entire gender's emotional amputation. That's what they do. But that is not loneliness. By definition, it's not loneliness. It's an identity engineered around exile. And that's the part no man's ready for, because you never lost connection.
The male loneliness epidemic is real, and I'm tired of people saying that it's not. Men, but particularly young men, are hurting. 1 out of every 7 men say they have 0 close friends. Women now outnumber men 60% to 40% in higher education. And because men are more likely to drop out, pretty soon there will be 2 female graduates to every male graduate. Women are becoming doctors and lawyers at far higher percentages than men. There are now more single female homeowners in the United States than men. For the first time in American history, the unemployment rate for college-educated males is the same as non-college-educated males. Boys are twice as likely to be suspended when compared to girls for the same infraction. 5 to 10 times as likely if you're a black boy. Broken women hurt themselves, but broken men hurt others and end themselves. Males have a 4 times higher rate of unaliving themselves when compared to women. And the single largest risk to a male under 40 is himself. I am not pointing fingers. This is not women's fault. This is not men's fault. It's our fault. More probably, it's the people before us's fault. But it is our job to fix it. If you thought it was hard to find a good man now, it's only going to get harder over the next decade. Instead of blaming an angry and disenfranchised teenage boy for the sins of his forefathers, telling them to shut up and acknowledge their privilege. Do you know who isn't doing that? Do you know who is acknowledging their pain, validating their feelings as they stare down the barrel of lower economic mobility that we have ever seen in American history? In a world where healthy masculinity is not being pushed, they are the people online who are telling them that their life sucks because of women.
Wow. Yeah, what a good video. Like, I just can't even, just the thought of that, this is the reality that we are now living in, is sickening. Like, and I think that we've just lost true care for others. Like, it all comes back down to that, is that we're just so selfish that we don't even care about the next person. We don't even recognize that if we don't get it together and start caring about someone other than yourself, that very, very real thing of that, dude, we can end life forever. Like, it's really that big of a deal, but we are not being told how much of a big deal that is. And it's crazy. And it's so sad to see that these men, even out of being respectful, are just taking themselves out of the game rather than standing on and like being like, dude, get it together. They're still so benevolent and sweet that they're like, you know what? If that's how you feel and that's how you want to be about it, then all right, I mean, what can I do? I'm going to step back and let you dumb ladies do what you do. Like, and then, oh, what are we going to do once it is close to that time and things are ending? What are we going to do then? For real. Like, but we just can't even look forward far enough past our bull crap and our own selfishness day to day to see that. And it's crazy. It really is. But God bless y'all. Love y'all. And see you in the next one.